Podcast Poppy, aka MJ Jones, aka the Governor, here to grace you all with another episode of the EFBC podcast. This is episode 2 now of the EFBC podcast. And here I am, your host, MJ Jones. Guys, I want to first off say thank you to those of you that watched episode 1, which was a fucking train wreck. I must say I did not do a good job on episode 1 because I just hopped on and just tried to put something together and make it something great. But here we are for episode 2. So I want to give people a little bit of time because I gave no real heads up. I just told people, hey, look out for when I go live to, be ready for when I come on. And I have some things to talk about. We've got a few things that are going on in the new breed, and we have some EFED news. So we're going to touch on some of those things as we get ready and as I get some of you guys in here. Let's see, if you're watching from YouTube, please hit that like, share, subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, please hit that like and make sure you hit the follow so you can know when any of the EFBC content is going live. I want to take a look at the Instagram right now. We've got some nice things on that side as we have Mr. Unfazed Blaze, who has his Crossface Pro wrestling promotion going on up there right now. He's highlighting that. We also have Cody Hagan 2019, who's been pushing some of his content. And thank you, Mr. Larry, for that like. I appreciate you for coming through. RW Dub has a nice promo that he put some work in on his IG page. So if you guys want to go over there and check that out on his IG page, just a few people that I've seen scrolling. Also, one of the people that we're about to talk about shortly, 3Dub Wrestling. So if you're a part of 3Dub, make sure you tell them that I'm going to talk about them, because I don't run from it. I run to the smoke. I don't run away from the smoke. So if I'm saying your name, I want you to know I said your name. Anyway, that goes to say, if you know anybody out there that may be interested into some EFED action, into EFED talk, make sure you send them my way over at the EFBC podcast, episode number 2. This episode is called The Docket because I got some shit to say. Anyway, so as we go on, let me first talk about the New Breed. New Breed has its upcoming episode coming up shortly, which will be episode 225, which will see a dual main event that will showcase 2 number 1 contender matches. One, the fatal 4-way to declare the number 1 contender for the open weight title, and number 2 will be a fatal 4-way match to declare the number 1 contender for the United States title. If you guys want to see what those cards look like, please head over to the New Breed. Sorry, if you want to just head over to the New Breeds. What's going on, Joker? Thanks for coming in. Joe Rivers, thanks for coming in. I'm glad to see you, Joe Rivers, for tuning in. Joe Rivers will be making his debut on the New Breeds 225 episode. And what's going on, Higher Gun? Those are the people that have joined in for this episode. And on episode 225, I said we have Joe Rivers making his debut. We've got the two fatal four-way matches. We will also see our new number one contender, Josh Armstrong, another guy we'll be talking about later on tonight. But Josh Armstrong will be competing against Bully at Wrestle Olympics, but at 225 he will be trying to make it known why he is the number one contender. As I continue on to more pressing news, now that we have a few more people in here, we've seen that as I go on, I'm just not going to have a long episode today because, last time, I got on here and I just rambled. This time, I want to get on here and have more of a straight to the point process as I talk about some of the things that's going on. EFBC started maybe about 3 years ago. We had a group of EFED owners. Those EFED owners came together and we made the EFBC. EFBC was supposed to be something like ESPN. ESPN highlighting different organizations like the NFL, the NBA, things like that, and highlights. We were going to showcase highlights. We were going to come together and do podcasts. We were going to do highlights of each other's shows and show that here on the EFBC. Excuse me, sometimes the mic goes out. So we were going to do that and highlight that here on the EFBC. So with that said, we started doing the podcast. Podcast ran a few episodes. One of the things with me, even though this was like something that I thought of as my baby, EFBC, I gave up running everything. I didn't want to be the one to say, hey, do this or do that, because I didn't think that's a way the leader should be. I felt like if you let guys all throw in their ideas and we all mold them into the form of all of our idea and they make one big idea, it can become one great idea. I use idea like a lot right there, but excuse me for the overusage of the word, but that's what the plot of the idea was. So as I brought all of these guys, we had Max come in and he wanted to say, oh, well, we're going to talk about making HLR shows. I don't do HLR content. So that really took me out of a lot of the conversation. I don't do let's plan and let's book I do plan who's going to match, who's going to face each other, but I don't plan who's going to win matches. I like the AI versus AI to take care of that because I think that's the most fair way for my product to advance itself. And so with my product, I have guys like that come in, they might just come in off the street. So if you come in off the street, you're going to come in at a 60 overall because who knows if you're going to be dedicated to my product for me to just rate you at an 80 or just throw you in matches if you're not going to be here 2 episodes later. So that was the process of the thought of a 60 overall. When guys like Mike the Money Mills or Higher Gun or Big H, who has been here since the very first episode, who are now up to like 70s and 80s overall. They've had to either, do their promos, take their losses, get their wins, win their titles, all of that type of stuff in order to get to that number. So why should I just give everyone that walks in the door either an 80 or 100 overall and just expect them to, hey, be on the same level as those guys that has been here since day one? That is the process of my thinking with our attribute system that we have here in New Breed. So when an AI versus AI match happens, guess what? We still have upsets. We still have guys like Stoner who just walks through the door and goes up and wins a title out of nowhere. Excuse me. This is when he was Dallas Stone, before he was Stoner. So, and we've also had other guys walk in the door and win and then disappear. We've had guys win and not say anything. But guess what? It's my job now to book them out of that title scenario. That's what is my job. Not an HLR where I'm just going to sit here and be like, I'm going to pick and choose this guy because I think this guy is the best for us right now. Or I think this guy is just going to be hot for a moment. Or this guy could be a transitional champ. Or I don't like that right now. Because with so many people in this EFED game, everybody wants a chance. And so the only proper way to give them a chance is to give them a fair chance. Instead of me saying, hey, for the next 3 months, it's going to be you and this champion. And I figure that because and I say that because it's like, it's not because you're the one that deserves it. It's because I just think, you're just the best direction for us to go. We don't have any other place to put you right now, so we thought this was the best place to put you. You're not going to win a title at all of these next 3 months, but this is where we're going to put you. That's why, like, that type of decision making is not ideal. Sure, you want to be like, the WWEs, the AEWs, the real life products, but even their politics back them into a corner. So with my little attribute system, I tried to back myself out of that corner by trying to do things fairly and give each and everybody a fair shot based on their performance of their character. On this game, they give hot streaks, they give losing streaks, and everything. Anyway, so as we cross from over of the HLR AI debacle or talk over into what happened with the EFBC, we got to interviewing and talking to people, and it even got to the point we were interviewing and talking to people that I had no clue who the fuck they were. Sure, some of these other guys knew their names, but I had no clue. So we did that. We talked about these guys, and a lot of the times I just sat back in the conversation and and nodded my head and smiled and listened to the conversation. But the conversation typically didn't go too far, and it didn't make headlines around EFED. And so here we are now in EFED talking and looking at names that, all right, cool. From there, I get a feeling that people were starting to fall off because now one person doesn't want to do the show because they have something, or this person doesn't want to do the show because they have something. But because now one person doesn't want to do the show, everybody doesn't want to do the show. So we're now down names. Then Oh, let me backtrack a little bit because we met. I met one. I started talking to one specific guy behind the scenes. We're gonna call him the leader of HWA. I'm not gonna say his name, SBJ. I did say his name because I'm gonna call out names. SBJ. I spoke to him, and while talking to SBJ was like, "All right, I'm gonna link you up with this guy," which was Max. I then went out and found. No, I had seen Max's uh, EFED prior because I had just been doing research. Like me doing research, I'm going out and searching for every EFED out there, just like I do on Instagram and Twitter and Reddit. I go look at all of these places to figure out what's going on and see what people are doing and what kind of commentary they're doing. This is what kind of work I put in. I'm not look, I'm focused on my product and my product only. I'm not that kind of guy because it's all about trying to figure out what everybody else is doing and enjoying and adapting that and making it your own product as well. That's what a lot of these places do. That's what happens when you go get some good Listerine and you go get the generic Listerine. Sure, the good Listerine is there, but guess what? I just undercut your price by half by having this generic Listerine. And guess what? This shit just gets my breath just as fresh as this other expensive shit. And I'm moving numbers. So the key is to always to be like that generic brand. I'm moving numbers, I'm getting the job done, and people love me. I don't need the name brand. I just need to move the numbers and for people to love me. So, when I went to talk to Drew and Max, I was trying to sell myself and a brand because I wanted them to get the idea of, all right, we can get into this YouTube game, move the needle of EFED beyond what anybody else could think of, and we can make a name for ourselves and our products as well. So I wanted to do that. So I got with these guys. This is 3-4 years ago. Talking to these guys behind the scene. We're working on things. And then it doesn't go anywhere. It falls flat. Then they bring me to HWA. And I work with them for a little bit. And they make me champ over there. They make me the champ over there. They have me backdoor Will King in order to make me champ over there. So I become champ. The next day, HWA closes its doors. What the fuck? Okay, so now I'm champ of a company with closed doors. Anyway, then guess what? 3Dub is now in motion and it's booming. So I'm looking at 3Dub, I'm watching, but I'm like, maybe I shouldn't go over there because I'm still working hard on my product over here. But I take my ass over to 3Dub. Meanwhile, we still work on, that podcast stuff. We work on the podcast stuff that failed. And after we work on the podcast stuff that failed, we come over and I'm working in 3Dub. They're telling me they're going to push me. Okay. Season comes to a close. I make an appearance. Next season starts. I started picking up a little steam, and they got me working with Will King and Hill Money. They got me working with Will King because of what I did with him in HWA, I guess. Okay, here we are. I'm promoing. No one's promoing with me. So I asked for competition. I asked for the feud to be over with because it wasn't picking up steam. But we ran it into the ground for another few months. Okay. No, not a few months. We ran into the ground for about another year. Me working with Hill Money. Thank oh Lord. Nobody to promo against, just me. So we do that. And then behind the scenes, I'm talking to these guys. I'm like, hey, man, look, let's put more content out. We can either chop up like some of the three dub shows, make it 2-night events, or we could cut up half of our shows and our as a new breed and make them multi-night events. I said, or we can have like this show where it's, all right, you got 3-dub, you've got HWA, you got new breed, you got XVPW going, and then on the side you have another show where it showcases all of those guys coming in that may not be getting enough TV time on those shows to perform over here so that they can be uplifted more to perform on those shows on a much higher scale. I wanted that to be done. Nobody wanted to set, this is what it was. Nobody wanted to set their egos aside to be number 2 on the pecking order of who makes the show. I don't have a problem doing that because, like, all right, when y'all doing the HLR thing, that's not my thing. So I'll take a step back while we create. I'll offer my input and what looks good and what doesn't. But other than that, I won't step in front of you or saying what should and should not be done in that aspect. Then it got to the point of who we're going to pick to be champions. The champion should be from either my show or that show, or the champion should be this person or that person. Who the fuck cares? Like, let's have them work and see who puts in the work to be the champion. You can't say, oh, this is going to be the champion at the end when you haven't seen anybody put in the effort and the work to try to become champion on that type of scale. So that put a stop to a lot of things. But then it's like now all of a sudden I remove my name, EFED broadcast, remove its name because everybody has stepped aside and done their own thing. XVPW had Max running around as Comeback Kid X to everybody's EFED and whoring himself out around like that. No offense to be taken by me saying whoring yourself out, but that's exactly what was going on. You was going around everywhere and performing everywhere. Maybe to draw a name for yourself, which is fine. But then it came to, all right, Max isn't working. SBJ has gone MIA. And now it's just 3-dub and me going as the 2 consistent feds. So then I tell, Drew, I'm like, dog, man, I just moved. I'm drained in a lot of ways. So maybe we could work together and figure out how we could make this a nice umbrella for us to work as a unit. I'd even work on your creative team just so that, I can, get acclimated to some of your guys. And so Drew says, yeah, I'm down with that. You come on, be on the creative team, and we'll start you up for next season. Cool. Next season comes, nothing said to me. That's cool. So after we do that, I continue on my way. So then I reach out to Will King and Josh Armstrong. I say, guys, look, I'm trying to really build EFED into something. I'll help you guys in building up your EFEDs and your YouTube pages. I'll help you guys in creating any content, any logos, and anything that you need. I'll help you do that. This is what I said to these guys. I said, I'll help you do this. I'll help you build and expand your brands in ways that you may not be able to. Because one of the things that I've been doing and spending a lot of my time doing is reading and researching algorithm, how to expand YouTube pages, how to expand marketing, because I'm not just trying to do EFBC type shit. I have man listen customs, which is something I do personally on my own, and I'm trying to make that something way bigger than I can imagine. So here I am trying to do something in a market with people that may not really fuck with me like that, but I'm trying to pitch and sell an idea. Even when I pitched and sold it in locker rooms of 3Dub, it was told to me that, oh, that's a stupid idea. EFED's never gonna go that far. We don't think of EFED like that. EFED's not that cool. EFED's for nerds. Nerds aren't gonna support this shit like that. This is what I was told. But now here we are today. I'm looking at guys teaming up, forming umbrellas, making pats, forming shows. These are guys that I sat in a group chat for months on end talking and throwing ideas back and forth with about trying to get help to create something. Even guys coming to me pitching, hey man, you should really pitch a movie, like do a EFED movie showcasing and highlighting EFED guys. I tried to put a team together to do that. No one wanted to fucking work. This is like, but now all of a sudden everybody wants to team up and get together and work out together and be buddy, but not with that new breed guy, right? Because the new breed guy is a little bit outspoken. That's what it is, right? New breed guy is a little bit outspoken. The new breed guy is rough around the edges. The new breed guy will say no to an idea. The new breed guy even say fuck you. But at the end of the day, what the new breed guy will do after he says fuck you, in the midst of that conversation, he'll look you in your eyes and he'll say, man, dawg, we came up with a hell of an idea and it was good working with you today. Man, let's go kick ass tomorrow. That's what the new breed guy will do. Because I'm not about to sit there and settle for no bullshit. I'm going to sit here and try and put together the best product I can. Sometimes I can't do it alone, where my time stops me from putting out the absolute best product I can. But if I had like a team, like look at this. You got a guy that probably is over there at 3Dub creating creating the graphics. You got another guy that creates a match here, another match there. You got guys that comes together and create the storylines, and all this other guy has to do is maybe edit, chop it up, do commentary. Like, bro, like when you have help, it makes it a whole lot easier, and it makes the product a whole lot better. I've reached out and said, hey man, dog, I got this great idea. We're gonna do this. This, and that. Here's your role. Can you do this and that? And I'm like, okay. But then I do the work. It's like, this is what my docket is. It's like, all right, so are we gonna only go work for a guy that has this huge roster, no real time to really compensate and say, all right, we're gonna put you in this patch, we're gonna put you this, we're gonna do this, all this for you, but then that's what he's telling you that he's gonna do, but never gets it done. I'm not coming for Drew, but I mean, he only has so much time. He only has so much availability on his show. His matches can only go so long. And then his superstars probably only want to work with certain people. Because, I mean, let's not be foolish to think that the superstars aren't in the ear of the GM. No matter who I've had words with, no matter who I've said or who I've asked to leave Newbury, I've welcomed them back with open arms, no beef. Because at the end of the day, this shit is all about just business, man. Ain't shit personal. But y'all treat it like it's personal. And I know y'all treat it like it's personal because the way y'all did Coop. When Coop tried to walk in the 3-dub, y'all had the gatekeepers there holding the gate closed, trying to It had the gatekeepers at the gate trying to keep Coop out the gate. Trying to keep Coop out the gate. Say that 3 times fast. Anyway, they was trying to keep Coop out the gate. Why? Because he said something and disagreed with someone from another EFED that were just so happened to be a part of that EFED. But we're talking about we don't want that drama. Like, man, fuck that drama shit. The drama shit gonna be there. Make use of the drama. Drama creates attention. And I'm all about bringing the attention to my front door. If it's going to create views, and if it's going to create content, and if it's going to create financial value. But if we going to just sit here and talk about smoke and up and pose and all this other fake internet gangster shit, we can talk about that shit too. Just keep it in the DMs. I mean, because ain't nobody going to really do shit. Not a none one of you going to do a damn thing. But you have now, what was those names? Explosion, Takedown, and another show, Blaze, now happening under the 3-dub umbrella. I believe those are the shows. I could be wrong. If there's something different, put it in the what's the name and let me know what it is. But these are the shows now. We're talking about just me talking to these guys not too long ago about doing the same shit. Yet, here you are, taking the shit that I was sitting there talking to you about for years. Bruh. And then there's gonna be somebody in the background like, you know, hey, I was talking to Drew about that too. I was doing this too. And it's always a Mr. Me Too ass nigga. Like, I was doing that too. Nigga, just say you was and stand on it. Where's your idea? If you was doing it too, where's your efforts? I mean, I've even stepped beyond just trying to make this a EFED thing. I've tried to make it a sports thing where I try to include the basketball, the football, the basketball, football, baseball. Shit, we got Forza on my channel. Coop does a great job in his free time putting out great content. He's got password to the channel. When it was a thing, Max had the password to the channel to upload whenever he wanted. Gessner could have did the same thing. And whoever could have did that when they were part of the channel or a part of the process could have done it at any point in time. I have no problems doing that. As long as you want to fuck with and create with me, I ain't got no problem, dog. Like, we gonna be out here trying to get it out the mud together. But if you think that I'm gonna sit there and do all of the work, nah. I'm gonna cut the ties up, keep it moving. I'm gonna say something about it. I'm like, hey, dog, what the fuck going on? But if ain't shit shaking and you just looking at me like, oh shit, Bobby Knight died. Oh shit. Just got that alert on my phone. Bobby Knight died. Anyway. Whew. I just had a bone to pick about this EFED shit because guys really act like they real cool out here in this shit, but they not. They just sit here and they listen, and then they take an idea and they like, they sit on their shit, and then they go do the same shit that you sat there and talked to them about. Cause like, and then it'd be like, oh, we been doing this shit. Man, fuck you, nigga. You ain't been doing that shit. I've been watching this product for how many years? Lying motherfuckers, boy, I tell you. And then when you sit there and you be like, hey, dog, you know, what's up, cuz? Like, I hollered at you about this and that. Like, what's up with that? Motherfucker either don't say shit, Josh, because you sure came to my inbox the other day and you could have gave me a heads up like, hey, I know we was trying to work together on some shit, but, and it never worked, panned out, but I'm about to go over here and work with these jokers over here because they told me I can do X, Y, and Z or whatever. But that ain't even the case. You shut your whole shit down. And what? So you can talk and be a commentator and be a worker? A commentator? Like, nigga, if you wanted to commentate shit, I could have sent you this shit, chopped it up, and sent it over there to you. Nigga, you could have commentated on this. Fuck you talking about? What? You want to be a commentator, cuz? You ain't want to be the producer. You ain't want to be the producer. You ain't want to be the owner. You ain't want to be none of that other like dope shit. You want to be the commentator, cuz? You want to be Jim Ross, Michael Cole, Nigel McGuinness. No, not Nigel McGuinness. Jerry Lawler. You wanted to be one of them? You wanted to be... I'm not going to take it there, but you wanted to be a commentator because that's what he wanted to be. Yeah, I told you I was going to start shooting because I didn't respect the idea of how all of this shit went down. Like, I even had mans come into my, what's the name? He say, "Hey, dog, I know you ain't really fucking with 3Dub like that. So, I tell you what, why don't you join Blaze, bring Kane to Blaze, and what you can do on Blaze is, like, you can bring Goon Squad and y'all can run them up and do y'all thing on Blaze, compete and shit. We'll even possibly put you in a title position. You know, all of this shit. But we still work with 3Dub. Like, nigga, what? I just told you I want to fuck with them because of the shit that they was doing in the locker room. Like, when all the motherfuckers was sitting there talking about all that racial shit, and when I was talking, like, hey, man, that shit ain't cool, but then that shit was like, man, you motherfucker, you just oversensitive because, man, when it's a bunch of white motherfuckers telling me I'm being oversensitive about some black shit, nah, motherfucker, I ain't being oversensitive. You just ain't never walked in my motherfucking shoes to understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm like, dog, like, come on. I ain't gonna get into that talk, but it's like, what are we talking about here? You can't tell me how to feel about race. And so when I tell you to chill, I expect you to chill, not keep going. Or when I say some shit offensive, I expect you to be like, okay, my bad, not keep going. So now when you keep going, yeah, I take it hella offensive. So then when I tell another motherfucker, hey, dog, I feel cool about this shit, like, can you speak up to these motherfuckers? And we'll see, we'll look into it. The fuck you got to look into? Motherfucker, I was offended. They kept going. It's right there in fucking writing. Fuck is there to look into? Who? Ain't nothing to look into, dog. But this is where podcasting is. This is the toxic environment that podcasting is. I mean, not podcasting, but EFEDing is. EFEDing is a toxic environment. And I can honestly say we don't have that shit in Newbury. Everybody kind of cool. I'm probably the most toxic motherfucker in there. That's only when I'm nipping some shit in the bud. Like, if it's some shit that was said or if it's some shit that's being done, yeah, I'm nipping that shit in the bud. I'm speaking on that shit because that's what I do. I talk about what I feel is wrong. So, if you don't feel like I said the right shit to you, oh well. Talk to me about it later when cooler heads are now prevailing. But in the moment or the heat of the battle, nigga, we going to war. So, you chose the war, not me. I just said what my feelings was. You disagreed. Anywho, as we continue this here docket, I'll look at Instagram one last time. I do want to make sure to give y'all props because y'all have been giving our content views. The content will be coming more frequently. Primetime 225 will be coming to you guys within the next few days. I'm working on the last few edits while still trying to uh, handle life and the bills that are in front of me like a soldier, because that's what I'm trying to do. Also, I want to point out that Wrestle Olympics will be a nice big event, and we have some nice surprises in store. So please check that out. Episode 3 of this podcast, I hope, will have a much more EFED tone where I can highlight some of what is going on in EFED, because it's been real quiet on uh, the IG wrestling circuit. I was wondering if IG wrestling is dead, but I see some places are starting to ramp things back up. I guess they just needed to figure out what the hell they were gonna do, but here we are. I'm trying to see. Oh, one last thing. We've got one last thing before I get out of here. I'm gonna probably run it by them before I get out of here, but be on the lookout for Rod Dunn's wrestling podcast. It will be coming. I'm gonna make sure that it comes. Pause. I'm gonna make sure that it comes out soon. Pause again. So we're gonna get that done. Hope you guys check out EFBC podcast episode number 3. Next time I might be a little bit more vicious. I've calmed down a whole lot in my life because a lot of the things I would have said would have been a whole lot nastier. But anyway, we've taken care of that. I think I got some more harsh things in my mind than what came out, but it was good. It's a good second episode.